Welcome to the 2026 Carl Albert Titan Coaches Show, and as always, we have the head coach, Mr. Mike Dunn, and we're thankful to have you with us and taking time out of your busy day. This is football week and 0 week here in Oklahoma, and a lot of teams are preparing for their upcoming matchups. I just want to start out by saying that it is a privilege to be a Titan, and I stole that when I was a head coach from Gary Rose's sheet, and actually asked all of our players to sign that. But, you know, more and more each and every year, you just really understand how much of a privilege it is to be a Titan. The Titans have built a culture where discipline, preparation, expectations, they're just passed down year after year after year. And I'd like to say that we don't necessarily start over every year. We just kind of reload and rebuild, but the expectations are always the same.
Yeah.
And I actually had the opportunity yesterday to talk to Mr. Ginn, who is the new assistant principal. Mm-hmm. Some of you will meet him on Friday nights, and he'll be around. He actually was a head coach over at Bethel, and has spent a lot of time coaching. But one of the things that impressed me so much about him, yesterday we had the opportunity to talk, and Mr. Ginn said, I would like to explain how different it is here, but until you're here, it's hard to understand.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people have that impression that Carl Albert is a school that is built on athletics. And one of the things that he said yesterday was he pointed over to the other building and he said, that's where it all starts.
Yep.
And I know that you're an educator, and that has always come first. Can you share a little bit about that, just in regard to you were a student here,
yeah,
a football player here, and I say student first. You were a student here,
I was.
A football player here, did a little coaching, went on, came back here, and the expectation here at Carl Albert is an intricate, detailed process, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think my journey, I've coached at and taught at 7 different schools across Texas and Oklahoma, and I think I was always searching for something like Carl Albert. You know, every move I made, it was either to promote and try to go higher in the coaching ranks, or try to get closer back to Oklahoma, God's country.
Right.
And really, I was always searching for a school or a place, a home that was like Carl Albert, and just could never find it.
Right.
There's nothing like Carl Albert. You know, Coach Madden, one of the sayings we say a lot around here is there ain't nothing like it. And there's really not. I mean, I've been all over the place, and there's really nothing like Carl Albert. When we talk about the Titan way, it's something that's real. And Mr. Ginn's right. It starts over in the building. You know, Kristen Goggins, going back to Dr. Sylvia Kirk, and even before her, you know, and before us, Coach Rose, Coach Pebb, Coach Miller, and all those classes starting back in '89 that have lots of success in the football programs, and then all of our athletic programs. But, you know, there is something special here, and I think there is a want to be greater here. You know, when all of our programs, you can tell it permeates, where one program goes and does something special, the next program wants to do the same thing.
Right.
And I think it carries over. There's a lot of holding the rope and people wanting to pull for each other and help each other, and all the programs support each other, and it's just a special place. But you can't do anything in the athletic world if you don't have the building and the academic world on the same page. You know, and I think at Carl Albert, we've always proven that the expectation is the same no matter where you go. Our kids can't leave our field house, go over to the building, and then it's a totally different culture over there.
Right.
The culture in the field house is the same in the building, and vice versa. And so, you know, we're lucky. We're lucky that it was set up like that long before us, and we've had people that have stood the test and have continued to fight the battles to keep it the way it is. So, special place.
It is. It's an absolutely special place. Now, I want to go back a little bit. I know this is the beginning of the 2026 season, and again, there's no doubt Carl Albert enters the season as an odds-on favorite to win 5A again. That takes work, determination. Nothing is counted until it's counted. We always know that. They have an incredible win streak going, one of the longest in the nation right now. Just topped Ada last year with 20 state championships. We know all of that, but still, despite all of that, one of the things that I feel like is an important part of what Carl Albert does is the fact that it retains coaches on the coaching staff. So I'll just ask. I asked you earlier, and I'll ask you again. What kind of changes did you have in the offseason, or did you bring anybody in that is new that you'd like to share with us?
Minimal.
Yeah.
We really had zero changes. We didn't lose anybody. We didn't gain anybody. We've got our same staff that we've had pretty much the entire time that I've been here. We've got guys that have been on staff for 20 years now. We've got guys that have been on staff. I think Coach Douglas, this is year 3 for him, and he's got the least amount of experience on this staff. And then everybody else is 6 years plus. And so I think that goes a long ways for our kids as far as the consistency that we can preach. And when I talked about upholding the standards, every single one of those coaches, they come here with that duty every single day to uphold the standard that is the Titan way and to keep this program in the shape that it's in. And it's something that we could probably get complacent, we could probably relax, but none of the guys on our staff are built that way,
Right.
And so it makes it fun because it almost becomes kind of an inside joke with us that we are kind of old school. I'm 42 years old, but I see this is kind of it's turned into a young man's game, and we're joking a lot about that, but not. We're going to try to keep it as status quo as possible and keep it as Carl Albert as possible as long as we can, and not die on the vine. You got to change with the times and change with some of the things that are going on in the world of athletics. But it's nice having a staff that we all know each other. Our coaches meeting week, we were able to go to the clinic and actually relax and have fun with each other and go have a dinner with each other. We did a little clinic talk there as well. But there wasn't a whole lot to meet about because it's just, it's like riding a bike. You get out there on that day one, and we're doing the same day one install that we did 6 years ago when I first got here. And it's kind of our way, but it really is. It's helped that we've got coaches that continue to stay and fight the battles and want to do this thing year in, year out.
Right. You said you're 42 years old, and you threw that out there, so I'm going to jump on that. I'm pretty sure Coach Madden's been coaching for 42 years.
I think this is year 45.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, tells you everything you need to know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just him, but we've got other Hall of Fame coaches that are right there in the locker room. It is an incredible staff when you sit around and you listen to the knowledge that's gone on there. And many of the guys that are on the staff that have been at Carl Albert for a long time have passed up opportunities just to be here.
Yeah.
And that says a lot for the program.
Yeah.
So you and I talked a little bit back in the summer, and with all of the things that are going on in high school football, and people are transferring here and transferring there and going here and going there. If they don't like where they are, they get an attorney and they move somewhere else, and all of those kind of things. You said it just a minute ago, but we kind of do it the old-fashioned way. And I hear that being said in regard to we have a lot of hard work. We're not out recruiting anybody to come here. People want to come here to be a part of this program. Yeah. And some people come here and then decide it's not for them. Yeah. So they're here for a year and then they move on somewhere else. And that's okay too. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. But we're not just looking for the best players. We're looking for the right fit at every turn.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when you're able to have those meetings beforehand and actually talk to people and let them know what the expectations are and what our structure is like and what the discipline is like, sometimes it's not for everybody.
That's right.
Some people find out the hard way when they come over here that the grass is not always greener, even here in a place where they think that it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
But we're built on hard work, and we're built on, we have a philosophy, and we've got schemes that we think work, and I think the best advice that I could give to anybody that's trying to, go through this transfer portal world as a coach is don't change your standards for people trying to come to your program.
A good word.
You've got to keep your standards and your expectations and your standards. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a hard time in this world, because I say it all the time. If you build a foundation on sand, you're going to crumble. You got to build it on concrete, and you got to build it on blocks. And for me, that's all in the work. That's all in the process. And for us, if you come into this program, I tell the kids the same, every single one of them that has come into this program, I tell them all the same thing. If you work hard, you put your nose down, you stay out of trouble, you like the weight room, you practice hard, you play hard, you're going to fit in great.
Right.
And we're going to always do our best. I think our number one job as coaches is to turn boys into men, but to also give everybody the same experience, and that is to try to go win a state championship. It's not about touches. It's not about who gets the most catches or receptions or carries or most yards, most touchdowns. It's not about that. It's about trying to win a state championship collectively as a group, and that's the best way that we can give. From the best player to the worst player, we can give everybody the same experiences by trying to go win a state championship.
That's a great word, and it is about the expectations. And a lot of people come in here, and it is a different place. So last year, you had the opportunity. You're the athletic director. You're not just the football coach. And so last year, the Carl Albert Titans, as a whole, across the board, fall sports, winter sports, and spring sports, just played lights out. You want to share just a little bit about that?
Yeah, banner year. We ended up with 7 team state championships, OSSA recognized state championships. Our POM also won a state championship in their category. We also had 2 state runner-ups last year. But it was nonstop. It was just winning. And we had some other teams that were really, really close. We had some district championships. I think we had 5 district championships as well. We had some teams that came out of nowhere. We talked about it yesterday with our boys swim program that didn't win a single swim meet the entire year.
Not really.
Until the one that mattered.
That's all.
The
That's
state
all that mattered.
That's what we talk about a lot around here is we want to be doing our best and playing our best at the right time, and a lot of our teams last year went and proved that. And it's a special place, like we talked about earlier. But it was a banner year. I saw a thing this summer, right at the end of the school year. Max Preps puts out a Max Preps Cup, I think is what they call it. But it's nationwide.
Right.
And they use a system, and it's all about state championships and runner-ups. But they use a system to give points. And anybody over 1,000 points, you've done something right. But in the entire nation, which I think the number was like 30,000 schools, I think we were 14th in the entire nation in the Max Preps Cup final point total. So pretty cool. Only school in Oklahoma that was in that top 30 on the list that I saw. So great year. We're looking to go do more this year, and it never stops around here. We're still working to do more.
All right. So let's get into what we're here for. So it's football time.
Yeah.
And you've been practicing. You have watched some guys come up, and I want you to share a little bit about some of the newcomers that have come in, and we can start with 8th grade. We can start with 9th graders coming up, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
But I know that there's some newcomers that have come in and are taking some roles on the varsity team. And so can you share a little bit about that?
So we've got I'll start with our incoming sophomore class that were 9th graders last year. That group went undefeated last year, had a really good season in their own season as freshmen. We've got some guys that are coming off of that and are doing big things already for us and are going to be starting on Friday night, particularly in our offensive line. We've got 3 giants, big sophomores with Jax Wilkerson, our left tackle, Bryson Bell playing right tackle for us, and then Corbin Penley playing right guard. All 3 of those guys are doing an outstanding job. They're getting coached by the best offensive line coach in the state with Coach Madden and Coach Looney. Just can't say enough about them and the job that they're doing so far. Another guy that's standing out right now, Wyatt Cordray, off of that group last year. Wyatt's going to have a big hand in both sides of the ball for us and on special teams, doing all kinds of good stuff for us. And that sophomore class as a whole, very, very talented. It kind of reminds me of our current senior class. Every day I'm having to tell them, hey, this is your time to help these guys get better for Friday night.
Right.
Your shine is going to be on Mondays, but your definite shine is going to be your junior and senior year, which you play in a good program. And you might have to wait till you're a junior and senior.
Right.
A lot of places and a lot of kids, they're not willing to wait their turn. And these guys, they're not that way. We've got this is one of the best so far, one of the best groups I've had. These guys will go out and they'll be on scout team. We've got a really good group of skill players in that sophomore group. And the linemen are very talented as well. And these guys, they work hard every single day. But that's just some of the newcomers there. I'm gonna interject here to give the example of what you're talking about. Kalen Smith started as a sophomore on the offensive line, but he came to me. I can't tell you how many times and said,
Coach, I want to play defense. I want to play defense. And so it was really interesting watching him at the scrimmage the other day, and then having the opportunity to talk to him after the scrimmage and say, see, you waited, you put in your time, and now you're playing a little defense. And he just loves using his hands.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. And we love when he uses them too.
Right.
So yeah, that's a great example. So some other guys. So incoming this 8th grade group, or incoming 9th grade, also very talented group. There's a bunch of them. I think we got 40 kids out for our freshman football team. Some guys that have stood out so far. We had one scrimmage the other day, and we went up against Edmond Memorial and Lawton MacArthur, and I thought our guys looked really good. But Gary Scruggs is a running back that has really stood out. I think that's a name that everybody's gonna really get to know over the next few years. He'll be one of the next great Carl Albert running backs. Quentin Clark in the skill area, receiver, DB. Mikey Daniels, another good skill DB guy. There's some offensive linemen in that group, defensive linemen, Chris Cox, A.C. Hoffman, Pike Sanford, Jackson Looney. Got size in that group. Some tough guys, linebacker, DN types, Malik Morgan, tight end, defensive end. That's another name that you're gonna hear a lot over the next few years. Whit LaValle. You're always good when you got a LaValle on your team.
Somewhere.
So in the Carl Albert history and lore. So Whit LaValle is another one we're really excited about. Got 2 quarterbacks in that group, which is good. Christian Shears and Cade McClung. Both of those guys are doing a great job right now, and just a lot to build off with that group. They're great kids too. They've been outstanding. They're where they're supposed to be. They're on time, and there's a ton of them. And so that's a group that we're going to really get to know and really get to like, and I'm excited about that group. Newcomers to Carl Albert,
right?
Transfer portal world. We've had a couple of kids that have moved in. I think I've done a couple of paperwork on 2 kids in particular, 3 kids in particular. Corian Love is coming to us. He was at Edmond North last year. Corion's done an outstanding job for us. He's going to be a guy that's going to be on both sides of the ball, wide receiver, DB.
Got a lot of speed, I saw.
Great speed. He's going to help us in the return game. He is a stud, and we're excited about him. Elijah Thomas is coming to us back to Carl Albert. Elijah grew up in the system. His brother, Xavier Thomas, was on our team in 2021. He was on the state championship in 2020. Great kid, great family. Great to have him back. Gonna fill some needs that we had, and he's a defensive end, and he's heck on wheels. Tight end, defensive end, and he's gonna make us a lot better. So we're excited about him. Noah Lewis, a couple of young guys, sophomores, Noah Lewis and Hayden Rackley coming to us. We're excited about both those guys. Both of them are wrestlers too. We always like wrestlers. But Noah Lewis he's a young guy, sophomore, running back, linebacker, tough guy, comes from a great family. Really excited about all those guys, and I think when you add that to what we have, I think we're building something pretty special.
Yep. So off season, I know we use Performance Course here, and they do a great job for us, and we oversee that. Coach Cam is usually there with that. Was he there this year with that?
He was. Yep.
Okay. And so I noticed just when I was out for one of the first practices. Guy like Anderson Collier. All of a sudden, I looked out there, and Anderson wasn't skinny anymore. He's put on some weight.
He's beefed up.
Yeah. Can you tell us some guys that have really shown up in the offseason?
Yeah, I was going to start with Anderson. Anderson has definitely put on weight. He looks good. And the other day in the scrimmage, he's back to his old ways. Just special with the ball in his hands. He does a great job of leading our offense and our team. Makari Johnson's a guy that's had an unbelievable offseason. Picked up speed. He's put on good weight. He's got a burst. He's playing great on both sides of the ball. He's going to do big things for us in all 3 phases. Kalen Smith, we talked about him and our offensive line. Him and Elijah Esparza are 2 returning starting offensive linemen that are 3-year starters now that are going to really help those sophomores out. Both those guys have put on good weight, look good. Some newcomers, not to Carl Albert, but to our starting lineup, Jaden Shelley and Adric Walker. 2 defensive tackles. Those are my kind of guys. Jaden Shelley is wearing number 55, which is close to my heart, but we're looking for big things out of them. They both have had outstanding off seasons. They both look good. They're playing hard. They're practicing hard. They're asking the right questions, and we're looking for special things out of them. Skill position-wise, you got your returners and Austin Johnson, Delijah Matthews, Jackson Webster, Darion Thomas. Those guys look phenomenal. They're practicing great. They've all put on good weight. Speed's there. I mean, big things are going to happen with those guys.
Okay, so this coming Friday night, we're going to host the Newcastle Racers. just very briefly, if you look behind us, you're going to see that we're in a brand new building. Don't even have a name for it yet. Right now, it's the building on the south end. Yeah, so that's what we're going to call it right now. And going to be a great night of football. And so Newcastle, we know a little bit about Newcastle. We know they graduated quite a few people, but they had quite a few people move in.
Yeah.
They have a new head coach this year that we know a little bit about, Bo Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And grew up here, played football here, went on to OBU, came back here and coached, and now is over at Newcastle. Had been the defensive coordinator for a few years over there, and now he's the head coach.
Yep.
So you've got, and we're going to talk about them as they come, but you've got a pretty good 5-week schedule here headed into the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Give us a little brief rundown on that. And
So Newcastle, led by a former Titan, you know they're going to be tough, well coached, prepared, disciplined. He's doing a great job over there with those guys. They graduated some kind of like us. They've got a good nucleus of guys coming back. They've graduated some really good players, but they've brought in some good guys, and it's a good program, so you know they're going to be ready to go.
Right.
They look good on film. They're going to be one of those teams right there in the mix when it's all said and done, and so it'll be a great way to start the season out. And you couldn't think of a better matchup for week 0, and it's going to be a fireworks. It's going to be a lot of fun. These first 5 games, it's going to be back to back to back to back to back.
I'm looking forward to every single one of them.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Booker T coming into Gary Rose Stadium after this one, going to McGinnis, to Del City, and then coming back to open up district play with Guthrie. So there is no weeks off. They're here early on. We're going to have our work cut out for us, and I think our guys will be up for the task.
All right. Well, it's going to be a great season, this 2026 season, as the Carl Albert Titans chase another championship. And I want to close out with just a little bit of personal with just you, Coach Dunn. Summertime is important to get away. So you've got a wife, you've got a family that you love dearly. And what did you guys do for fun this summer?
We did a lot of fun this summer. We hung out the lake all summer. Yeah, we got away. We have a place out at Lake Eufaula, and that's kind of my getaway. And we do workouts Monday through Thursday. And by the time we're blowing that last whistle at 9 o'clock on Thursday morning, and we're giving out our Stars of the Week awards, by 9:30, I'm usually on the road heading out east to Lake Eufaula. So we got it in this summer, and we buttoned it up just a couple weeks ago, and it was sad to say goodbye, but it's football time. So,
that's right.
But it was great for the family, great for me to get away. It was a lot of fun.
Coach Dunn couldn't have said it any better. It's football time. So Carl Albert Titan fans, it's time for you to go ahead, wash those jerseys, get that Carl Albert gear out of the closet and get it on, and be here on Friday night for the Carl Albert Titans against the Newcastle Racers. And we're going to be back with you each week, and we hope that you will continue to watch us on YouTube as we have the 2026 Carl Albert Titan Coaches Show.